In the late 14th century poem, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, the hero, Sir Gawain, arrives at the court of Sir Bertilac after a long, tiring journey through the English winter. He is taken to the fire by the ladies of the court, who call for wine and spices. The word spices in Middle English, as well as meaning spices, could also be used to refer to sweetmeat. And I think it's highly possible that Gawain was being given cakes to accompany the wine. Now, we have no idea what cake Gawain was being given by the ladies of the court, but the 14th century cookbook, The Form of Cury, includes a recipe for almond pastries, and I like to think that these almond pastries would have suited the palate of a weary knight like Gawain. So today we're going to make medieval almond pastries. This recipe makes enough for 24 little pastries, and basically it's a combination of short crust pastry filled with an almond filling. So we're going to begin by making the short crust pastry. To make the pastry for 24 almond pastries, you need 200 grams of plain white flour, a pinch of salt, 100 grams of unsalted butter, and a small amount of cold water. Place the plain flour in the bowl, and to it add the diced butter. Then, using your fingertips, rub the butter into the flour until it resembles breadcrumbs. It's important that you just use your fingertips because they are the coolest part of your hand. And with pastry, it's important all the time to keep your ingredients as cool as possible. Okay, once the butter is rubbed into the flour, then add a pinch of salt and then you need to very gradually add the cold water, stirring the mixture with a knife until it starts to clump together. Don't add the water all at once, otherwise you may end up adding too much. Right. When it looks like this, then your pastry is ready. Then you need to put it in the fridge to rest for at least half an hour, but longer is fine. So gather it together into a ball and wrap it in cling film and put it in the fridge. So while the dough is resting in the fridge, we can make the almond filling. Almonds were very popular in the Middle Ages, but once again they were expensive. So this combination of almonds and sugar makes this really a treat for a knight of King Arthur's court. To make the almond filling, you need 55 grams of ground almonds, 55 grams of caster sugar, 55 grams of unsalted butter at room temperature, 15 grams of plain flour, 1 egg, and 1/4 teaspoon of almond essence. Begin by beating together the sugar and the butter. Use the back of a spoon and you need to beat them together until they're light and fluffy. Next you want to add in the egg that you beat first with a fork. And then add in the ground almonds and the plain flour. Finally, add your almond essence. Okay, so the almond cream is ready. Now I've preset my oven to 200 degrees Celsius or 180 degrees if it's a fan oven or gas mark 6. Now's the time to get the pastry out of the fridge. Okay, as I said, this recipe makes enough for 24 almond pastries. We haven't really got time to make those 24 almond pastries right now. I'm just going to show you how to make a couple. So I'm just cutting off a small amount of the dough. Okay, just squeeze it to make it kind of come back to kind of room temperature. Then on a floured surface, using a rolling pin, roll it out to about 1/2 centimetre or 1/4 of an inch thick. I use a medium-sized cutter. If you haven't got cutters, you could just use a knife and sort of make triangle shapes. But anyway, I'm going to use a cutter. So medium-sized cutter. Cut out a circle. Then on the circle, put a small amount of the almond cream. Then using a pastry brush, use it to dab some water around the outside of the pastry disc. Okay. And then fold it over, so if you like, you've got a kind of mini, almost like a mini Cornish pasty. Okay, put that on your greased baking sheet. So a second one. Cut out the pastry disc, a small amount of almond cream, probably about 1/2 teaspoon worth, and using a pastry brush, brush around the outside, and then fold it over to make your medieval pastry or pasty. Okay, so once we've made the pastries, all we have to do now is glaze them with honey before putting them in the oven. So, the 24 pastries, you'd need about 2 tablespoonfuls of clear honey. With my 4, I'm just using 1 teaspoonful. Put it in a small saucepan and heat it until it gets very runny and starts to bubble around the edges. Okay. And so using a pastry brush, brush the runny honey onto the pastries. And then put them in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes until they're golden brown. So Excellent. They should be ready after 15 to 20 minutes. Yep, perfect. Medieval almond pastries, fit for a night. Mmm.